Welcome to the Mortgage Podcast, where we give tactics, strategies, and inspiration to get you to 10 plus loans per month. We talk a lot about how to make a ton of money in mortgage while also being happy and thriving in your personal life. If you want to be a mortgage millionaire, you're in the right place.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Mortgage Podcast with Todd Screema. And today's topic is 2 ways the loan officer's job will change over the next 5 years. The whole goal of all this is to keep you on the cutting edge so that you can close 10 or more loans a month. That's like my sole mission. So I try and pick topics that make sense to you, that you can see from a perspective on how you can make more money. So this one I think is very important. Let me put it this way. When I grew up, we had 3 channels and we had rabbit ears on top of the TV. Nowadays, I don't even need a cable subscription. I just use YouTube TV from my phone and project it on a screen. Now, we've all know that the things that have happened in between, you had HBO come out. That was a big deal when I was a teenager. Do you have HBO? Do you have MTV? Right? So we got more channels. And then Netflix kind of was like, went to a friend and I was like, let me get this straight. I go online and pick movies I want to watch and they send me DVDs. Yeah, that wasn't even that long ago. I don't even think they manufacture DVD players. So the world is changing, not overnight, but everything's changing. Let me shock your brain just for a second. That's mortgage specific. So I did a demo about 3 weeks ago now. These 2 guys from Harvard got into the mortgage business with the sole purpose of designing an AI bot that would totally take your application, give you the choices of mortgage loans that make the most sense to you, show you visually the different comparisons, while at the same time disclosing the loan, while at the same time putting that interview into Encompass, into the mortgage software. So I got in to the demo a few weeks ago and I was like, yeah, I'm kind of doing this as a friend, but I do want to continually educate myself on AI. These guys, it'll probably be a little clunky. It'll probably won't work right. It probably won't disclose the loan right. It'll probably pick the wrong program. So I kind of went into it a little skeptic. I walked out of that 1-hour meeting blown away. It was like talking to the best loan officer I ever talked to in my life. It was so well done. These guys have been working on it night and day for 4 years, and they're smart. So it's getting ready to come to market. I'm there to either be an investor for them or obviously to use it in my mortgage company. So these are the kind of things that are happening, okay? We have AI bots right now where you call a loan officer, say they're in a meeting, and it sets your appointment, answers your questions, sends you the loan app, online. Like, we're already delving into those things. So what does that mean to the loan officer? I want to be careful here. I think there is a part of our brains as humans, and we go to catastrophication. Catastrophication looks like, oh my God, I lost one account, I lost one loan, I'm probably going to lose 3 more today. That's catastrophication. The things that we worry about rarely happen, or they happen over a longer period of time. And so what I thought may take, 2 or 3 years actually takes 6 or 7 years, as an example. So I don't think anything's going to change overnight. I think some things will with AI. The mortgage business is so complicated and so regulated. I do not think it's going to be an overnight process. It's going to be a progression. So what does this look like over the next, say, 5 to 10 years? I think there's 2 things that stand out to me. Number one is our job as loan officers will be less about the details. It'll be less about picking the program. It'll be less about what our job looks like today, and it'll shift into a couple of areas. One is more relationship. As humans, we like human relationship. I will drive or fly somewhere to meet someone in person. We had a company meeting with about 10 of us, an all-day meeting. I had everyone fly in. Why? Because it's different. It's better information, and I think that we communicate better. That's just a human need. A lot of things can be done on Zoom, like we all do today, but I think relationship as humans will stay put. I'm not saying that it won't be strained or it'll look different, but I think our overall trust in relationships is something that will stay and we'll have to get better at. So better listening skills, better body language skills, so we know if someone feels uncomfortable. I went to a dinner last night and there was 5 people there and one person was not happy and I could sense it. And I said, hey, come over here. And I took her over to the corner. I said, what's going on? The energy you're radiating is negative. Something's going on. Turns out she told me something had happened in her personal life that was pretty major and she was just off. I said, hey, totally get it. Love you. Let's put on a game face for the dinner and and move forward. So, it's skills like that, being able to pick up on someone's energy, being able to see their body language, being able to really listen, ask 3 whys, and get to the heart of whatever it is that that person really needs or wants in that moment. Those skills are going to be very important. The second thing is strategy skills. Let me explain that. Strategy is, how do we add value to this person? Let me give you an example. I was meeting with a family member about a month ago, and he wanted to put 30% down on a house. And so I sat down with him with a blank sheet of paper, and I said, hey, let's look at this 30% down, and let's look at what that does. And then let's look at using an FHA loan for 3.5% down, and we take this 100 grand that you're thinking of putting down, and we invest it. And let's look at the difference over 20 years. When you do all the math, all the tax advantages, all the appreciation, what we discovered is he'll be ahead 20 years from now by $750,000. And the basic logic to that math is the house is going to appreciate anyway, whether we put 30% down or 3.5% down. That house is going to appreciate at the same rate regardless. The money, now this 100 grand that we were going to put down, is growing at 9% in the stock market. The difference over 20 years is he was $750,000 better off. That's an example of strategy. And at the end of the meeting, he just looked at me and said, Bud, that's amazing. Like, I never thought of it that way. I was never trained. My dad never told me that. Like, no one's ever told me that. So now I have gained a lot of trust because I was good at strategy. Okay. So I believe that as we go forward, relationship skills and strategy skills are super important. I'll give you another example that a lot of people can identify with. Financial planners. So I have 3 financial planners. I meet with them. I meet with one every month. I meet with the other 2 every 3 months. When we meet, about 80% of our meeting is strategy. What I mean by that is we might spend 2 or 3 minutes buying a stock or selling a stock. We're talking about, hey, what does my portfolio look like 10 years from now? In my last meeting, one of the financial planners was like, hey, do you have a solo 401k on that small business you own? And I said, I don't. He says, that's going to save you about 30 grand a year in taxes. I'm like, oh, I missed it. That's strategy. So relationship skills and strategy. Those are the things that are going to set you apart and allow you to do really well in mortgage and close 10 or more deals a month as our market continues. Okay. So I hope that makes sense. I think this is 2 big ideas to get us thinking. So what do you do with that? Let's talk about what you do with that in your development time, and for me, it's like every morning for 15 minutes is my development time. When I work out, I listen to podcasts. When I drive and I'm not on the phone, I listen to podcasts or books, nonfiction books. So in your development time, focus on those 2 things and just ask GBT, hey, what are 20 strategies that a top level mortgage consultant should know? It'll tell you, right? And pick out the 6 you don't understand and educate yourself on reverse mortgages or whatever the strategy is. So I think that how you would work on these, how do I get better at relationships? Ask ChatGPT, hey, what are 20 ways that a loan consultant that's closing 4 loans a month could get 3 times better at relationships? It'll give you some tips. Take those tips and take 1 or 2 and find out a way of how you would put them into your practice. That's how you would develop these 2 skills at a higher level. Because I don't think there's anyone, including me, where we couldn't get better at those 2 strategies. Okay. So I hope that helps. I think that I'm recording this in October of 2025. And I think we're in the beginning of a much better mortgage market. Probably take another year or so for us to get into a normal market. But I think the good news is for those of us that are left, brighter days are ahead. And I think we're just starting to see that with rates coming down, some people refinancing, maybe the start of more people getting off the fence, and we can get people into more homes. The future is bright. And for those of you that stuck through this last 3.5 years, congratulations to you. You deserve a lot of credit because it was not easy. Okay. Have a beautiful month. Talk to you guys soon.